Thank you very much.
Less than 2 hours remain before polls close in the runoff race for Little Rock's next mayor.
Voters are deciding between Baker Curris and attorney and former Little Rock School Superintendent, and Frank Scott Jr., a banker and associate pastor.
As the clock ticks down, we have live team coverage. Jesse Tenur is tracking voter turnout. Mitch McCoy has been with the candidates as they ask for last-minute votes. But we begin with Mitch, live in Little Rock. Mitch.
Yeah, Kevin and Donna, good evening. It's like deja vu for both of these candidates. Both of them were in the exact same spot nearly 1 month ago today, asking for last-minute votes here in the capital city. The only difference is tonight's election is going to seal the deal. Frank Scott Jr. and Baker Curris have been out since early this morning. They will be campaigning up until the very last minute at 7:30 when polls close. Curris and Scott were both, ironically, at the same polling location when we showed up to Pulaski Heights Presbyterian Church along Woodlawn Avenue today. Curris and Scott say they are talking with voters about issues, making sure they can secure the vote.
We've got to change the way we govern ourselves, and we've got to get busy as early as tomorrow morning.
How do we secure our neighborhoods? How do we engage our youth so we don't lose them to the streets and make certain they reach their full potential?
Okay.
Both campaigns have been going door to door today, reminding voters to cast their ballot. Frank Scott Jr. tells me that if he wins, first thing he'll be doing is praying, and he'll be calling his volunteers and voters, thanking them for casting their ballot. Baker Curris tells me that he'll be calling City Manager Bruce Moore and figuring out a game plan before he takes the chair, or depending on who takes the chair, coming up on January 1st. That's when the next mayor will be sworn in. We're live in Little Rock tonight. Mitch McCoy, Fox 16 News.
All right, Mitch, they showed up at the same place. I'm sure that was not planned. All right, thank you for that. Well, part of the challenge of a runoff like this is getting voters to show up at the polls a second time. Fox 16's Jesse Tenur live in Little Rock, tracking the turnout for tonight's election. Jesse?
Yeah, hey, Donna, like you said, that's the issue with the runoff. It does have a historically low turnout, and so that's what really this race is going to, depend on, who shows up to the polls. We are at Westside Baptist right now. They are just shy of 300 voters when I went in there just a little bit ago, and this is an interesting place to be because this is in one of the precincts that went for the third place finisher in November. That was Warwick Sabin, and so we wanted to see who the people here were voting for this time, and we did hear a lot of Curris, but also a lot of Scott as well. And so, yeah, we won't really know how it all pans out until those numbers come in later tonight. Earlier today, we wanted to check out some of these locations where the polling places in 4 precincts temporarily changed just for this day, election day today, due to some scheduling conflicts. And what's interesting about Emmanuel Baptist right off Shackelford, it now serves 2 precincts, one that went Scott in November and then one that went Curris. That voter turnout had been just shy of about 600, and we heard from voters on both sides.
I think we need a change. I lived here since 1991, and it seems like the same old stuff all the time. Need to shake it up.
I just think he did a good job on the school board, and so I look forward to having him as our mayor.
And like I said earlier, we don't know the official numbers for today until polls close at 7:30. But as far as early voting goes, fewer than 14,000 Little Rock residents had voted early in the runoff, compared to more than 32,000 early votes in this race in the November election. And so, like we've been saying, it really comes down to who turns out today. As far as this goes, if Scott does win, he would become the city's first black mayor under the new system, which is via a popular vote. Little Rock did have 2 black mayors in the previous system where board members elected the mayor. And then under the new system, which was adopted back in 1993, there's only been 2 mayors, and that's Jim Daly and Mark Stodola. Donna?
Yeah, and Charles Bussey and Lottie Shackelford were the other 2 black mayors in Little Rock. All right, thanks a lot. Well, important to note, though, a handful of other cities have mayoral runoff elections tonight, including Jacksonville, Cabot, Russellville, and Searcy. We will have the latest results tonight, of course, on Fox 16 News at 9.